So I just had a thought. I didn't really care what direction our country was heading in until I had a kid. Because I basically was like, screw it, man. Like, as long as I survive, like, nobody gave a shit about me. Why should give a shit about anybody else? But now I got a kid, so I got to kind of think about it, right? Now, in the mid 2000s, the private investors of the prison systems, right? They were actually suing states for not keeping the prisons full enough. So what happened is the same people who invest in the private prisons are the same people who own the music industry, right? The same people that own hip hop. And if you'll notice, like in the early 2000s, you had groups like why can't I think of the name of them? Like All My Life Been Poor, like those guys, dude. Country Grammar, Nelly. Like, yes, Nelly is a great example. You had Cisco. These guys are blowing up, right? But they're not promoting crime, right? So a couple years later, now you got Lil Wayne and Birdman, and all of a sudden, crime promotion becomes a huge part of hip hop because they want to fill up the prisons, right? And so that's just a backstory on what I was just thinking about now, though, right? Because Gen X, so the boomers, right? Like, the boomers are doing their best to live forever because they already won the game. After you beat a video game and you got all the power-ups, they're just running through and just demolishing the game for funsies. Netanyahu's on that list. I mean, Trump's on that list. Like Biden wasn't even on that list. The people behind him were on that list, and they pushed this puppet around. So don't think I'm one side or the other. I am a very, I believe in policies, not politics. Is this good for us or is this not? It doesn't matter where it comes from. So they got me to thinking, though. The boomers, right? Gen Z, remember when they made it so that you go ahead and you could charge credit for Chipotle, right? Like, you could order a burrito on payments, right? And how many of those burritos got paid for? All right, so the boomers ran up this $40 trillion tab. Gen Z is losing their mind because, dude, this is the only time, in recent American history where you can go, you can get a job above minimum wage. You can almost double minimum wage in an hourly job, and you still will not be able to buy a house. You're going to struggle financially, especially if you have children. If you don't have children, you'll be fine. If you have one child will absolutely double whatever you're spending on rent and car and everything else. So now the only people that are having kids are the ones subsidized by the government and the super rich. Like, what's that? Nancy Pelosi has 28 grandchildren or something insane, right? So basically you have the best of people and the worst of people. Well, I wouldn't even say the best. What I mean by the best is the richest of people and the poorest of people. They're the only ones breeding. This reminds me of The Time Machine. What was it? Was that an Orwell book? I think it was an Orwell book where you go way into the future and humanity's been split between these things that have all the technology, and then they eat the children, and then they work so that the children, they're like cattle. They like all the beautiful, hippie-esque people, they're up on the surface of the earth, and that time traveler shows up, right? And then soon, come to find out, you go underground and it gets really ugly. They made a movie about it. The movie was decent, I remember. But that's literally pushing in this direction to where you have average hardworking people, bro, and they're scared to have kids. They're like, bro, I just got out of college. This is not me, okay? But this is a great example. So I went to college because they told me to. I got this fake degree that doesn't apply to anything, right? And that, dude, that's why all that California fraud, that's where that comes from. Because all these rich people in California, they push their kids through the colleges and stuff. Lori Loughlin. What you think Lori Loughlin was the only one buying their kids' way through school? Have you not seen How High with Method Man and Redman? Where like Bart Dooster, I'm the Dooster House, and he's a freaking tard, right? But he gets to go through college and this and that and whatever. Like, that's what we've been doing for basically 100 years, man. And it's coming to bite us in the butt, dude. This isn't like Roman times where like problems like this will last like decades and decades and decades. No. So what's going to happen when the boomers are gone here in about 20 years? We ain't going to have no more boomers. Like, they're going to be gone or they're going to be sidelined. And what we're going to have, and Gen X is heavily split too. Half of Gen X realized how fake everything was. And they're like, yeah, dude, I'm good, boomer. I'm good. And then the other half was like, oh, yeah, mommy, daddy, I'll do whatever you want. And then they got in on the scam, right? You can't convince me that our country is $40 trillion in debt, but we can't even fix the potholes and we're all paying all these taxes. Where's that money going? It's all getting siphoned like into this collective freaking scam system. It's so infuriating. But here's the thing. We're in the age of accountability too. We have DNA testing. Everybody's got a camera, right? Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got a camera. Everybody's got access to the internet. Gen Z, y'all got all the pieces. Like, you're the most, like, people, oh, Gen Z can't read. I see that stuff. Dude, that, whatever, bro. Like, they can work them iPhones and they can find out that conspiracy theories aren't theories. There ain't nothing theoretical about it. We just got conspiracies and they all know it. And they all know that right now, see, Gen Z realizes, like, I was born in 81. I didn't realize this until like the 2000s that you actually have to have money to control anything. To do any good with anything or bad, you got to have money. And if you have enough money, you can do as much bad as you want, and bad pays really well. So like look at Epstein, for example, right? Epstein, not only is he doing his weird genetic stuff, right? See, what I would like to know, too, okay, so he's doing weird genetic stuff. He's spying. He's also running drugs and potentially weapons. Now, out of all four of those, what do you think pays the most? I think spying pays the most. Then I think the drugs. Then the weapons. And then the genetic stuff, I think that was a hobby. Or who knows, I could be completely wrong because we only got half the files, right? So he could have been collabing with rich people and other people who thought like him, Epstein elites, to the genetic stuff. Like that came out in the Epstein files where like he like helped some, I forget who he was. He was some prominent citizen, but right? He sent him to his fertility specialist, right? And then you look at, what was that with John Travolta's kid and genetics and stuff? Like Epstein is just, he is just a little branch on a whole tree. It's a whole tree. It's a whole tree. And it absolutely grows into every country and every person's affected by this. Like the Epstein files, like that showed you like, this is just one guy. How many guys like this spread around the world would it take to just corrupt and rot our whole planet? Shoot, man, you could probably do it with 100. But my guess is there's probably 100,000. And Gen Z, y'all are going to have the options. See, also, too, I like to consider the fact that the boomers never relinquished power, right? So Gen X never got to step up and run what they thought was right. The millennials, they saw everything happening and they're like, dude, I don't even want to deal with this, dude. Like, I don't want anything to do with this because it's all gross and it's all corrupt. You know what I mean? They grew up on Pokemon, man. You're my best friend. You know, that's how they grew up. So, like, they actually grew up with some sort of, like they're trying to be good guys, which is good. I appreciate it. Gen X, we did. But, well, I don't know. I was born in 81, so I'm like a Gillennial or whatever the heck. But When I was a little kid, I remember being a good guy was super important in all the cartoons. He-Man, Transformers, it was all important to be a good guy. But as time went on, I would say that started fizzling out in the mid 90s. You know what I mean? So now, like, I want to watch Beavis and Butthead. You know, I don't care about good versus evil anymore. I started getting more of a what would it be, like an affinity for the bad guys and stuff. Like, they in the mid 90s, they really made being bad cool. Crazy, right? And what's crazy is the same people who were doing that are the same people who are trying to destroy our society today. You know, those same people are still in power. So, I don't know, man. I just wanted to rant a little bit. Throw what I'm thinking out there. I mean, anybody else want to chime in? I mean, I know I'm a tiny channel. Like 200 subscribers, though. That's cool AF. But, yeah, man, if any of y'all ever want to talk about any of this stuff, man, I am down, dude. I'm down. I've been doing a lot of studying. I know I act awkward and stuff, but I have a good memory, and I was actually really good at college English classes. So like, I can't speak super, and I was terrible at public speaking. So I can write it and I can think it, but saying it off the cuff, that's what I'm working on, and that's why I have this channel. It's actually helped me a lot in my personal life to be able to talk and deal with people. So if you made it this far, appreciate you. Have a good day.